Toyota's making a lot of money. They keep raising their forecast for how much money they're going to make. We have a lot to talk about besides that. What's going on with their North Carolina battery plant? Got good news, exciting news, and how that will affect the cars in our market in the United States and North America. That is coming online very soon. Also going to talk about China. China for Toyota is still holding on. Compared to the rest of the Japanese manufacturers, Honda, Nissan, they're struggling. Watch my video that I made earlier today talking about how Honda, Nissan, the merger, it's done. They're walking away from each other the way it sounds. Mitsubishi is completely out of China. Mazda is so small. I think they haven't been greatly affected by a drop in sales like Nissan and Honda. But we're going to talk about what Toyota is doing there, what Lexus is doing in China as well. Guys, if you enjoy this deep dive into Toyota's health, Toyota's growth, and what Toyota is doing behind the scenes, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure you are subscribed. Where to start? All right, let's start with profits. All right, Toyota raised its annual net profit to $29.5 billion for the fiscal year ending in March 2025, 27% higher than what they originally expected. All right, strong sales. The yen is weak. The dollar is strong. The weak yen. So when they convert it back to their local currency, it's just making money for them. Now, profits down about 9% compared to last year due to certification irregularities. Remember, production was stopped on, well, all their Daihatsu cars for a while, Hino as well. But you also had production stopped on the Prius, the Grand Highlander, the Lexus TX. So with these profit revisions, we're seeing less buying incentives. All right. So you're not going to see a Toyota Motor Corporation or Toyota Motor North America giving rebates or cash on the hood of these cars. You might get the dealership to do it, but Toyota's not doing it, or very little. Toyota hasn't done anything in regards to the potential tariffs. Tariffs are put on hold for a month. That starts, I guess, yesterday. So until March 4th, it's on hold, the tariffs. Toyota says they're running simulations to see what they need to do if tariffs come down the hatch, but they haven't made any adjustments yet. 10% of Toyota sales in the United States are the Tacoma, and they're all made in Mexico. And then you have the NX, RX, and the RAV4 all made in Canada. So it's a really tricky situation for Toyota. They got to figure it out. In the meantime, they're just going to be enjoying these profits. Hopefully they can use some of those profits to, I don't know, help pivot the company if the tariffs come down the hatch on them. They need to move faster in China, so they're going to do some aggressive things. So let's get into this article. Toyota forms a comprehensive partnership on carbon neutrality with Shanghai and establish a company to develop and produce EVs and batteries. This is not with a joint venture, mind you. This is Toyota, Lexus only. And I made an article maybe about a month ago that Lexus is moving to China. Now we got better details on it. They are working directly with the Shanghai municipal government to develop and produce BEVs and batteries. The newly formed company will develop a new BEV under the Lexus brand, meaning we're not going to see it because even if they had surplus production there, Chinese BEVs are tariffed to the moon in the United States, an additional 100% on top of the what I think China's at 10.5% right now on just the average goods, right? With the 10% tariffs that Trump just put in, we had the traditional 2.5%. The Biden administration put 100% tariff on China. So I think we're looking at like 112.5% of tariffs on Chinese BEVs. So we'll never see a Lexus, even if it might be the best Lexus ever, but because it's made in China, we'll never see it. And this will begin in 2027. Initial production capacity will be around 100,000 units per year, and approximately 1,000 new jobs are planned for the startup phase. That's just for the startup. It'll grow from there. They talk about how Toyota works with FAW, the GAC group. Toyota also works heavily with BYD. One of my followers shared this with me yesterday. It's not exactly new news, but just let you know that, I mean, Toyota sees China the leader in terms of technology, and it is necessary to develop vehicles that meet the Chinese consumer needs and refine and expand product competitiveness in China. They can't develop cars for China outside China. It has to be all done within China because that market's just an unchained beast of how fast it moves. So as a result, Toyota, it's not official yet, but sources in China are saying that Toyota's not using their own plug-in hybrid technology on their plug-in hybrids there going forward. Instead, they'll be using BYD's technology on the Corolla and the RAV4. I forget exactly when this is starting, but it could be 2026, 2027. So they'll have potentially different plug-in hybrids for the Chinese market compared to the plug-in hybrids that we get here in the United States. And I feel like this is a good segue. Plug-in hybrids are going to be growing and be more available for Toyotas in the United States and Lexus models in the United States than we've ever seen before because Toyota is powering on the North Carolina battery plant in April. We're just a couple months out. And shipments of electrified vehicles are beginning this spring. So what will we see these batteries in first? Well, it's hard to say. It could be the Camry, could be Highlander. For sure, it'll be coming in the next generation RAV4. Now, the RAV4 could start using these batteries as early as April with the current generation. Toyota could keep the same exact battery spec for the next generation hybrid RAV4. However, I don't think they'll keep the same plug-in hybrid battery configuration that they've been using for the past 5 years. Whenever the RAV4 Prime came out, the 18.1 kilowatt hour battery. So let's get into this. Toyota's first in-house battery manufacturing plant outside of Japan. I think there are other manufacturing plants inside of Japan. At least one of them was traditionally with Panasonic. They've been making hybrid batteries with Panasonic, but I think it was this past year, Toyota outright bought out Panasonic's half of that joint venture. So Toyota has their own in-house battery production in Japan that has nothing to do with Panasonic anymore. It's very fascinating. But Toyota is ready to begin production and start shipping batteries for North American electric vehicles in April, but it'll be hybrids first. So we're going to go to this article over at Automotive News, and we have a little bit more information. Typically, Toyota posts these live streams with their Q&As with the media in Japan on YouTube. Unfortunately, I cannot find it anywhere, but luckily we do have some good reconnaissance by Japanese media like Hans Greimel giving this information to us through Automotive News. Output at the Liberty, North Carolina battery plant will begin with 3 lines dedicated to hybrid vehicle power packs. The plant will then add another hybrid line, so 4 total, and eventually add 10 more lines for plug-in hybrids and full EVs. All right, so the first 4 lines are just for hybrids. You got to keep in mind, you might be saying, Kirk, they make way more hybrids than they do battery electrics for now, and plug-in hybrids for now. All right, but the thing is, a hybrid battery pack is maybe like 1/20th of the size of a plug-in hybrid battery pack. Okay, so you don't need to have as many lines to produce them. A hybrid battery pack is like 1/90th of the size of a full battery electric. All right, so very, very fast production, even though it's only 4 lines. And then the chunkier batteries, assembling plug-in hybrid battery packs, as well as BEV battery packs, they're so large that they require more real estate to assemble them. And that's why they're going to be taking 10 out of the 14 lines for those bigger battery packs. That's at least how I see it. They're saying that the EV battery output will be enough to supply annual volume of 40 to 50,000 batteries. I think that's initially. Look, by 2030, they're looking to scale up to 30 gigawatt hours, which actually isn't that much in the grand scheme of things. That's roughly enough battery packs to supply 300,000 battery electric vehicles. So where does this number come in? The 40 to 50,000? It must be by 2026, 2027, the initial volume. When they're producing BEVs, will they start producing batteries for battery electric vehicles this year? I don't know. The only way it happens is if the RAV4 comes with a fully battery electric option. I I'm not 100% sure. I'm hearing that it will, but I don't know if it'll be available at launch in 2026. Sorry, in 2025. It could be available in 2026. I do believe the RAV4 Prime, it's not called the Prime anymore, the RAV4 plug-in hybrid will be available this year as well. Fingers crossed. And that should be using batteries from this battery plant as well. But gosh, the RAV4, keep this in mind, the RAV4 it sold like 470,000 units last year. And you're saying this year we are only going to have supply to 40 to 50,000 batteries. Maybe that's for battery electric RAV4s. Demand for hybrid vehicles is quite strong in the United States, Miyazaki said. Therefore, we will solidify our production by producing batteries for hybrid first of all, but then we will add batteries for BEVs and we'll be ready to ramp up quickly. And lastly, one of my followers from the Nordic regions, Scandinavia, they're saying that the BZ4X in Norway, keep in mind, Norway, what was it, 95.8% of the vehicles they sold in January were fully battery electric. Norway's #1 selling vehicle is the BZ4X. Let that sink in. In America, this vehicle is demonized. I've never said it's a bad EV. It's just the software was underbaked originally. You couldn't fast charge it compared to the competition nearly as well. It rides incredibly smooth. The suspension's great on it. The materials are good. Its range is not very impressive though. But that's not stopping people in Norway from choosing this EV more so than any other EV in the market. It's quite bonkers. All right. So in January, the BZ4X sold 1,188 units. ID4, 830. Aria, isn't that crazy? The Aria, 544. Would I pick the Aria over the BZ4X? There are things that I like about them both. It would just have to, and there are things about both of them I don't enjoy so much. So it would just depend on, honestly, price. I like the interior of the Aria more than the BZ4X, and I like the exterior of the Aria more than the BZ4X. But it has some weird quirks to it, the Aria, that don't make it as good of a driving car as the BZ4X. Like its dip and pitch forward when you come to a stop, and it's laggy acceleration response compared to the BZ4X. So yeah, I'd probably pick the BZ4X. Oh, it's tough. Anyways, it might come down to price. Anyways, this is a vehicle. We don't get the ID3, kind of like this electric hatchback in America, unfortunately. I'd like to have it. We won't get the ID7. Volkswagen's pulled the plug on that. And look, Model Y, Model 3 outsell easily pretty much all the other manufacturers and other models here in the United States. And they're pretty far down the list. Keep that... Isn't that crazy? In Norway, a fully battery electric market, maybe it comes down to pricing. Maybe Toyota's priced a lot better than the Model Y. But the BZ4X outselling it, was it 3 to 1, 4 to 1, something like that? That is wild. If you guys would like to see me make a video update on the BZ4X, I got some new news for it and what's happening to that vehicle for in this calendar year of 2025. If you guys want to see that, let me know. If there's enough interest, maybe I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll just kind of probably like dust it into another video. But if you would like to see a dedicated video on the BZ4X, let me know with its changes for 2025. But that's about it. This battery plant in North America for Toyota is going to give us immense amounts of RAV4 hybrids. It's going to give us immense amounts of RAV4 plug-in hybrids. It's going to give Toyota a lot more flexibility. Remember, Toyota also has an additional plant. Was it with LG? They're sourcing batteries directly from LG for upcoming EVs, probably the new Highlander BEV. So a lot of batteries going on for Toyota, but they, unlike a lot of the manufacturers, they have their own battery plant. If you look at a lot of the competition, they're all joint ventures. And what's interesting is that Toyota doesn't have a joint venture that I'm aware of with Panasonic, their traditional partner with batteries here in the United States. Yeah, Tesla does, right? Anyways, I'm going to shut it down. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more Toyota news. And make sure to watch my video I posted earlier today on Honda and Nissan parting ways due to a lot of different reasons. But yeah, just watch that video. It's great. It's exciting, especially if you're a fan of Japanese cars. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.